Let go, let God. Your money's going to work out. Let go, let God. There's something good trying to happen. Windfalls, pennies from heaven, good fortune.
Lunatic astrology.
Scorpio, I've got some good news for you. The month of May 2026 is a whole lot better than how it was to be you in the month of April. I don't know if you felt like you were working way too hard, maybe burning out in your job or your career path, suffering through some annoying health challenges to do with viruses, inflammation, or injuries, and maybe just feeling like even your financial situation and your debts was overwhelming. Kind of a vibe there for you in April where a rare Aries stellium could have brought you a little bit down. Now, nothing wrong with working hard, for example, but maybe just a bit too much. And now that's going to lighten up in the month of May. Some of those challenges are taking, a hiatus, and you begin to feel more free. In May, we have all planets direct, no Mercury retrograde. We also have a huge positive three triple moons going on. And all said and done, the first 3 weeks of May are particularly awesome. Although the last week of May for every single sign is going to be challenging as all hell. And we'll be talking about where that challenge lies in your chart in that last week. So in today's video, we'll be going through your sun, moon, and rising. What that means is you can listen for all three delineations: sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign. So you're here today because you're listening to Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. Your sun sign is your career and purpose. It's your true self. It's your core spiritual nature. Whereas the ascendant is your simulation avatar, the game player avatar in the simulation, the character you're playing. Whereas your sun is the game player. But that means that when you're listening for your rising sign, it usually is accurate. You go like, my circumstances relate to this forecast. Your sun sign for career purpose matters, and your moon is your thinking, feeling nature, but your home and nest. For example, my common example is to say if you have an eclipse in the house of your home, like eclipses hit your moon, it's going to change your situation in your domestic and private life and home. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is hi. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm recording this video for you on April the 16th after 4.5 hours sleep. So be patient with my delivery style. But I will say to you that I am using Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology, and I put out all signs videos and mundane or world astrology, hundreds of hours of content every month. Please consider liking, subscribing, and joining my channel if you're into this stuff. And also, I will let you know that I teach classes. I'm a teacher more than anything else. And my Divine Timing Masterclass is on in May. I've been taught this since 2022, 5 weekends with me, live, 2 Q&A calls per week, night and evening for time zone accommodations. And you can choose one module or 1 week, or you can sign up for all 5. Information on how to learn your precision timing tools of ancient astrology is in my description box below, a link to my LoriLothian.com website. And if you want to join me, even after it's mid-May and you're catching this video, don't forget there's 5 weekends in May. So you might still be able to get to 1 or 2 or 3 of these classes. So I don't care. Latecomers are welcome. So I love to see you guys. And that's all I've got to promote this week, this month's content. So thank you. And let's bring your chart into focus. And when we do this, I'm going to go week by week through the sky over the next 30 minutes. If I'm talking a little bit fast, you know what? YouTube has a feature where you can slow down the speed with a gearbox, and you can take your time to listen and even pause me, write some notes down. So keep that in mind. If you don't like the ads in this, join me on Patreon, where you get early access ad-free content. Otherwise, you're helping support my channel by having ads show up. Scorpio, this is what happened in April. It was worse than this. We actually had moon and sun here, like the new moon on April 17th. So we have a rare, decades rare stellium in your 6th house. And the only good news is Mars is in his joy in the 6th house, which means he's trying his best in his home kingdom to have served you. But because of a fallen Saturn, as I said, you could have had health challenges, overwork, overwhelming debts, challenges with the health of your pets, difficulties with your rental property agreements and stuff like that. So that's kind of, or just over focused there, probably just working way too hard, successfully grinding away. But that's coming to an end in the month of May. This whole thing begins to break apart, okay, and fall apart for you. You're meant to learn some lessons here about the chironic wound of doing work that's off purpose, just saying. But that's okay. Now you're getting past, and hopefully your health was fine, but you will come out of any health challenges this month as well. As we move forward and you start to look at the sky, you'll notice that this week of May 1st to the 7th opens up with a very powerful full moon in your sign. And of course, it's your yearly full moon. But the good news is this full moon, which will be at 11 degrees, forms a loose trine to Jupiter. And that indicates it's a lucky lunation for you. And it opens up possibilities of doors of opportunity, luck, expansion, and growth in your ninth house. Now, with a North Node in the 5th house, if you're a female Scorpio, this could deal with the fulfillment of something to do with children or grandchildren, pregnancy, childbirth, and delivery in your life, the life of a spouse, or the life of a child and grandchildren. So there's all of this fertility stuff here for you, right? And the moon is a part of that. And Jupiter's trying to bless the moon. So the moon is in a condition that's not the best for the moon. Okay, but it is still a positive flow. The moon's never great in Scorpio. Sorry, Scorpios. The moon's condition is called fallen. There can be some challenges with a fallen moon in the life of a spouse that may be about their relationship to various factors off of this fulfillment moon. Like if you have a spouse or long-term committed love partner, they may be having challenges with their siblings, or they may be having some, opportunities that bring challenges with their siblings, for example, and also in their own career success stories. So there may be something about this moon that just reflects what's going on in the life of your 7th house partner, which is where the sun is sitting. And one thing about this full moon in your sign is that you planted a seed. It's called a new moon seed that occurred back in November, on the 19th of November. So think about what you planted as a seed. For example, my Scorpio rising sun planted a pregnancy seed because he got his wife pregnant sometime in late October, early November. And then they found out they were pregnant in November, right? So there was a seed of a baby growing in his wife, which is the baby's due this August. So early August, I believe. So, that's very literal, right? That's a literal seed of a new beginning, and a moon. It represents parenting and children as well. So yeah, how exciting for you. And the North Node represents also your creative artistic projects. So this moon can deliver a nice lift to your entrepreneurial, artistic, and creative projects over the 2 weeks that follow. And the 6 months that follow is particularly awesome for book publishing deals or international success as an artist or an entrepreneur. Look forward to that fulfillment of the moon. The fallen moon may just mean you're busy doing so much, you hardly get to see your significant other, that kind of thing. Moving forward to May the 1st to the 3rd, Venus will sextile Saturn. Venus and Saturn in a sextile is to have love endure or money be solid and stable. Now, normally that's just a no-brainer, right? But Venus is in the house of chunky money, inheritance, shared spousal resources, finances, banking, loans, mortgages. She's okay here. She's got some surprises with Uranus up her sleeve. But the problem with her and Saturn, and you can see it's pretty exact already on May 1st. So you start to feel it the last couple of days of April and into the first 3 days of May. It can be like you got to deal with some financial situation connected to debts. This is where you pay your credit card off and stuff. Saturn is fallen. And maybe you had some illusions. You didn't have to look at your credit card debt. Now you have to pay the price. So there's something like that, but Venus can find a solution to burdens regarding debts, and she can find a better arrangement regarding money, financing, loans, mortgages, to the point where it could even be about financing a property, refinancing a property, a rental property agreement, contract, and solutions and positive outcomes that Venus will try to enable while she is in a sextile to Saturn, who happens to be in a condition of fall. And then she's trying to pull power from Pluto. There's a small possibility of legacy wealth from a father figure who's elderly or ailing and going into that good night gently. Under the sky in the end of April and the first week of May. Now, we want to talk about Mars and we want to talk about Jupiter. Both those planets in great strength, exalted and in home kingdom, May 2nd to the 7th. A square is like a tension angle that requires action and decisions. You can't just let it rest. You can't just blow it off. You got to do something here. You got to do something about your work, your health, your debts, your pets, your rental properties. You got to go for it. And you got to do it with Jupiter's help. Well, this could be a movement towards a new job that is going to bring you into international terrain, publishing, teaching, or spiritual community. Now, there also is a possibility, if you've been dealing with a health challenge, that there's an expert authority who's going to be able to give you information in the top of the sky. And you could even just be like finding a book that tells you everything you need to know about this health challenge, and you begin to act on the information to solve the problem, for example. And there's another thing. I don't know if you guys are into book publishing, but if you've been working your ass off to get a publishing contract because you've been working on writing something, Saturn rules your house of writing in the 6th house, Mars is there too, then this could be a nice turning point opportunity regarding publishing and writing projects and success stories. You could be looking at consulting a career advisor or human resources department conversation about your options connected to work-related matters. Well, my son wants to take 8 months of paternity leave. Maybe he's having a very bold conversation about asking for 9 months. I don't know. That could be a thing in the sky. Again, the time frame is the first week of May. Most specifically, this intensity will be the 2nd to the 7th. And finally, Jupiter, when he's receiving a square from Mars, can translate this story to his 5th house kingdom, where he's able to say, well, maybe this is about pregnancy and childbirth and decisions around health for you or a spouse, or decisions about the mechanisms in which birthing and children or grandchildren can be involved. You could even be dealing with situations with children, grandchildren, turning point decisions with great power, authority, and strength. Righty, let's keep it on. And, because Jupiter rules your 2nd house of money and earnings, there's also that translation, right? You're going to have a pivotal turning point opportunity that feels quite golden that would lead to likely an increase in your earnings. And you must make a decision about it in the first week of May. All right. Also in the first week of May, we see Mercury on the 4th and 5th of the month squaring Pluto. Mercury is information. Pluto is what was hidden. Information about something hidden in the home may impact your health, like mold or something. Information about pets that was unknown to you. News or information about legacy wealth and inheritance money, certainly with Venus trining Pluto here. Broadly, there could be some revelations about family money that you're entitled to. It could be good for you, could help you pay off debts, and information or news regarding job opportunities connected to your home and where you live. So those are themes that are ongoing in the middle of the first week on the 4th and the 5th of May. We move into then the idea of the moon moving into Capricorn. And that brings a very positive golden opportunity for Earth trine energy, which is money. So it's going to be active on the 6th. Don't worry about Australia here. Just trust me. It's going to be active on the 6th. The moon's going to be moving into Capricorn. The moon, will be on the 6th, sitting in early Capricorn at 5 degrees, flowing to the south node here, and also flowing in a blue triangle, basically, to the planet Mercury. So this energy is what we call Kama houses. Houses 11, 3, and 7 are lit on the 6th. And this is positive. It's good for money. It's good for career. It's good for prosperity. And it could be some really good positive directional energy regarding your life connected to your home or your town, your neighborhood or your city, your spouse and your clients and your relationships to others, and some letting go, releasing, and surrendering connected to your career gains. And this can involve legal contracts and arrangements you're making at the same time that should go pretty smoothly under the Earth trine energy, especially if you have to release obligations of any sort regarding your career or your career or your exalted work life. So this is kind of smoothing out some intensity and giving you ways to opt out of overwork or strain and career ambition and success that's bringing you down in an easy and flowing and maybe legal contractual way, getting a severance package or getting some kind of deal to take a hiatus or sabbatical from work or something connected to maybe a contract or agreement from a solar figure, authority figure, audience, client, marketplace. Positive though, positive. Moon is in your social media house. It's in your teaching, writing, communicating, marketing house. She's in her joy here. So there's positive energy trying to happen. It's a funny placement because Jupiter is exalted. You know, he's at this top of the sky and the moon is not. The moon is in a condition of exile, but Jupiter's trying to pull the moon into something positive. And you'll notice that just for a very short time, while this beautiful trine begins to form, a little bit after that, the moon will create a T-square. So there's like good things happening with critical turning point energy, job, work, career, human resources, paperwork, bureaucracy, things like that. Alrighty. On the second week of the month, we have a nice sky. This is one of the better weeks by far of the whole month and maybe the year. The sun is going to sextile Jupiter. Mercury follows up and sextiles Jupiter, and Mercury moves into the heart of the sun. So it's a very Mercury, Jupiter, sun energy. That's the three main players this week. May the 9th to the 13th, it's the sun and Jupiter in a beautiful flow. Now, because the sun in your 7th house could be about clients, business partners, and significant spousal person, there could be some good news coming through in the life of a spouse. Okay. From the spouse's perspective, it might be about something to do with their siblings, their local environment, their marketing and selling and online social media life, or something like that. From the solar energy, for your perspective and how you could use this energy, the sun rules your career. So there's some really good career information news that might involve legal contracts and agreements, human resources, paperwork, and departments of, you know, the administrative departments in your company. And something really nice is forming here that helps you feel safe, prosperous, and happy and lucky. At the same time, you could have an opportunity connected to your spouse for international foreign travel, or you might also be able to secure your perfect university spot in an application to go to higher education, and even just be like, you know, celebratory. It's like hitting the high watermark of something you wanted to achieve academically. But as that happens right away, Mercury follows up, and that's where you have to sign the paperwork. So now that we had this opening, whatever it is, and when we move into what Mercury says around the 11th to the 13th, we need to sign the papers, guys. We need to figure this out. We got to move into, like, you know, real life agreements and conversations about agreements. Mercury can be the offered opportunity or the offer, the agreement, or the paperwork. And Mercury is going to end up in a very short-lived, don't look at this ascendant, but a short-lived lunar activated mini grand trine on the 11th, which is very lucky. And so signing contracts and deals will be very lucky. You could find out you're pregnant, your partner's pregnant, you're going to be a grandparent, or very good news about fertility, pregnancy, and all of that. So that's a thing. That's a thing for you. Funny enough, double-bodied sign where the moon is and Mercury ruling you know, Gemini, and maybe there's a case for pregnant people to discover there's twins in there. That would be interesting. My daughter-in-law is pretty sure she's got one in the hopper. Alrighty. But it's a very positive day. So mark May 11th on your calendar because of this, right? But it continues to feel good for you on the 12th, and it begins to finish up on the 13th. Mercury joins the sun 6 times every year from retrograde or direct motion. This is direct motion cazimi from the superior conjunction, or the other side of the sun. Mercury and the sun come together in the 7th house. New beginnings, reset buttons, divine downloads, and lucky things happen in the life of your spouse or your relationship to a long-term love and business partner. And because it depends on what kind of work you do, because the sun rules your 10th house, if your work has to do with selling or marketing, all right, if that kind of work, transactional work, isn't going on with customers and clients in particular, you're having a really good time. Whatever that cazimi is doing brings good news and success, but it's the day of that's most important, which is May the 14th in most time zones. It's going to happen at 23 degrees. If your ascendant in Scorpio or moon and sun are near 23 degrees, 20 to 26, then you're really liking this cazimi more than ever, you know? The sun is going to try to bring a career agreement, a career contract to you, or some positive developments in the life of your partner connected to home, property, land, and real estate, or in their life, even legacy, wealth, or inheritances. Quite possibly as well, the last thing I'd say, come to my free Mercury webinar. I do 6 of these a year for free. I teach you how to use each one because they're all different. We do a guided meditation. People quite enjoy them. I'd love to see you there at the free Mercury Kazemi webinar. It'll happen a couple of days before May the 14th. And Mercury being also capable of translating this conjunction to the house of great gains. So what you've surrendered, the emptied cup of your South Node in the 11th, can be filled again with something new. Look to the 6 weeks afterwards for something new to come into your life connected to your career gains. You get a contract, a deal, you secure, a humdinger of a client or customer, that kind of thing. All right, let's keep going now to the second half of the month. We're talking about the 14th to the end of the month. We're going to start with the 14th to the 21st. The first major thing to look at is definitely going to be that we have on May 16th in most time zones a new moon at 25 degrees of Taurus. So we'll just move it back here for wherever Vancouver, Australia is. But in most time zones, you're going to have it on the 16th, the new moon, new beginning, fresh start. In your house of marriage, in your house of clients, customers, audience, and marketplace from your career. New beginnings and fresh starts here are very positive because you got Mercury watching the whole thing, like he's holding fort, right? He's saying good news can come off of the new moon. He just went into that Kazemi. The new moon happens to be well placed in terms of Jupiter, a lot of nice flow from Lord Jupiter. It's at 21 degrees to 25 degree new moon. 25 degrees? Yes. And the new moon will plant a seed that can unfold in 2 weeks after the new moon, but even rumble away for all of 6 months. And the moon is the natural ruler of your house of lucky breaks that come from Jupiter in the 9th. And so there's new beginnings and legal contractual agreements connected to international travel, writing, teaching, academic environments, and legal and court cases that favor an outcome that you're going to like. Okay, there's good shit happening under that lunation. And so look to that to unfold 2 weeks of something positive in the life of your spouse or you and all the other people I told you about. On May 16th to the 18th, Venus sextiles Mars in the fire and water, fire and earth, fire and air signs. So here's Venus. Here's Mars, cosmic lovers. You see them in a sextile. You notice that it's active on the 15th and it's still active on the 16th and it's active on the 17th and it's done by the 18th or 19th time zone dependent. North America, it'll be the 19th. This energy, right? We like it. We're going to go yay, 15th to the 19th in general. If you're single, you could have a secret love affair from an office romance. If you are looking for relationships, that's where I see it in this chart. Otherwise, this is also a kind of sextile that can really activate or stimulate something positive for you in your chunky money and an ability to eliminate, cut, and pay off debts in a very swift, decisive way. This is also operational in terms of Venus's translation of it. She translated it in so many different ways, but you could carry it over, for example, to your 12th house, which could be money coming from an inheritance from a father figure, allowing for removal of debts, for example. Energy-wise, secret love affairs can happen under this. And again, if it's not because you're in a work-related environment, it could be connected, perhaps, I'm not sure, to something in your environment of your local, like dog walking parks, because connections to pets and rental properties could bring sort of hidden new love stories. Now we move past that and we connect to the same story. It's going to happen in different signs. It's going to be really cool. But before we just talk about that, what about Mercury? When Mercury comes into contact with Uranus, it means information, news, surprise, shock, unexpected. Venus is saying, I'll bring a positive result, hang in there. New moon says it's fresh and new. So ultimately, I think you're going to say, oh, something I couldn't see that was hidden in the dark about my money. Moon is dark here. will be revealed to me in an exciting way, but you will interpret it as destined and positive. It's at the bending of the nodes of fate, and it's bending the north node in the house of good fortune, fifth house. So good fortune, money news unexpectedly arriving, could even be a massive tax break, but there's something like a rebate or something, but there's something good trying to happen here. So, but it's coming as a surprise. And I like the fact that the conjunction forms a miniature trine to Pluto, the god of wealth, in the house of legacy wealth, property, land, and real estate, and rentals over here, and debts. So I don't know, news that you have more money than you thought, your house is worth more and you can sell it, that your debt elimination, you overpaid your credit card and you get a refund, but it's deeper than that. Some of this can invite inheritance money into your life, or there is inheritance money you didn't know you had, and it's revealed because Pluto is the secret hidden realms and Mercury is the digger information news about what you couldn't see, and now you're getting the information you need. So it looks like a bit of a surprise, positive monetary surprise coming through around this time on May 17th. But on the 19th, both planets will move over. Mercury, Mars and Venus, the lovers, will move into water and earth, which is mud. And they're still doing what they do, which is they can do romance, passion, excitement, all kinds of stuff. All right. So if you're single, find love in a foreign land, distant place, spiritual community, or higher educational setting. Okay. That's what you do with that. And Mars is that passionate bulldozer of a type of energy in the house of committed love. You could also look at this as Mars is fighting for something he wants for you to have connected to legal and court affairs, and you're likely to, through persistent bulldozer effect, win the day. Now, Venus is going to be in your ninth house for a while, all right, from May 19th to June 13th. And this is really good for, with Jupiter's help, long distance foreign travel, positive results regarding grandchildren, childbirth, really good results when it comes to winning at court cases, or really good success in academic storylines like higher education. And having her here in a flow to your Scorpio nature always feels like a glow up every year. And so all of a sudden you feel more attractive, beautiful, and you feel more on purpose, and you feel more aligned with divine will. And you're just a bit more lucky than you usually are. And because as she enters into your ninth house, she flows to the node of fate in the house of good fortune, including financial wins of some kind, like playing a lottery ticket. The ninth house represents government monies, like, bureaucracies. It's a good week to play the lottery. So you're one of the signs where I'd say, advice-wise, don't do this recklessly, but particularly around May the 19th. To about the 25th, playing the lottery could be very successful. Okay. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention is that cosmic lover energy here, right? Sizzle dizzle. You could meet somebody because you're going to travel abroad, or they're traveling abroad, or there's international travel involved. And then you meet your partner who is passionate but steadfast and hardworking because Mars is over there. That kind of vibe. Moving forward into the next part of the story. Should we move forward? Your grandchildren are having positive developments in their lives, particularly connected to their career. And you're looking down at your grandkids going, yeah, cheering them on. You're doing well. I love your career success right now. Okay. And that is true in that shorter window of about the 19th to the 23rd or 4th. All right, as we go forward and consider the narrative, Mars is a bulldozer in your marriage house. And this is going to be difficult for your significant other. They're going to be plowing the fields or something. They're going to be feeling maybe grumpy or irritable and maybe passive aggressive and maybe sometimes blowing up at you out of the blue. And so be watchful of your partner's temper and their inability to express frustration and anger in a healthy way during this transit, which will last from May the 19th to June 28th. So my son's wife is getting very pregnant by then, right? She's getting bigger. But also there could be geographical separation between you and a significant other. Sometimes Mars here simply means some time apart. And because maybe one of the two of you are traveling or something like that. And Mars here is probably going to feel like in the relationship you're in, everything got really thick and heavy, kind of like, oh, like let's push that bulldozer through the rough mud and get something going here. So it's just going to be a little bit more of a challenge until June 28th in your long-term committed love story parts of the chart. However, if you have business partnership arrangements in your life, you might meet masculine figures who want to partner up with you, especially with Venus in your ninth house all the way through until June 13th. Between May 19th and June 13th, business partners with international people could be one of the stories I'm seeing here. All right. Oh my gosh, guys, it's been a long day on 4.5, 5 hours sleep. What else do I have for you? Okay, Venus is going to be disillusioned with money and love stories around the 21st, 22nd. She's squaring a Neptune, which means some kind of like vision or delusion is going to kind of be squared away with maybe a sobering realism. This is being felt around the 21st to the 23rd. Neptune is in the work house, Jet's house, but it's probably work related or health related for you. And you're having some kind of reality check, Saturn, Neptune, about your work, about your job, about your career, about your debts, about your health, about your pets, about your rental properties. But Venus is also still with Jupiter. So it's not so much like a crushing disappointment as it would be a sober, realistic look at things so you can get the best luck and direction out of it, because the ninth house is very fortunate and very positive. So what you see more clearly serves you, not crushes you. All right. What you understand more clearly. And because Venus is the, say, exaltation ruler of your children, it could be something in the life of your children. And because Venus is also the ruler of your 12th house, it may have to do with backroom deals and negotiations, self-undoing, or addictions. Maybe you've been struggling to curtail an addiction and you've had a setback and you have to go back to AA and say, you fell off the wagon, but you'll start all over again. That's another example. And maybe you had a book publishing deal on the table and it fell apart at the last minute. And if that's okay, because something better wants to come through for you. So trust the disappointment leads to more clarity and realistic assessments that leads down the road to something better. You're very lucky with Jupiter and Venus in the ninth house right now. So what doesn't go your way, and just trust me on this, will work out for a long run better anyway. You'll be glad it didn't go through, right? All right, 21st to the 23rd as well, Mercury and Saturn and Sun and Uranus. So the Sun says, surprise. Just like Mercury said, surprise with Uranus. Now it's the Sun's turn. Unexpected financial situations, maybe, probably, because we got an accountant here, Mercury, or a trader in the stock market, or somebody working on the financial back end. Now that we've got that accountability here, and now the Sun illuminates Uranus's unexpectedness, and the Sun translates it to career, but is a sextile to your career house. So it may be, as a surprise goes, rather okay for you. Unexpectedly find out your entitlements or your payouts or your health insurance program has more benefits than you knew because you share those resources with your boss and the company you work for. Example, my son says, I'll take 8 months of paternity leave, and he finds out they've just moved it to 12 months for all employees. So things like that. Unexpected and positive surprises connected to career and purpose. Or with the Sun here, father figures. So if you do get an inheritance from Sun trine Pluto, father figure energies building up here. Well, quite clearly that Sun trine Pluto means money from legacy wealth that's happening at the same time, building up in the sky. So therefore, you're not going to complain, right? So the 21st to 23rd is a surprise. But then after that, around the 23rd to the 26th, you see under the surface, under the hood, there's a lot of riches in the fourth house. Your property's worth more than you thought. The inheritance money is more luxuriously profitable than you thought it was ever going to be. And Mercury is fast moving and fast thinking, and he's got his abacus counter there. So your long range monies are doing well, investments and stuff like that. Maybe you have a stock take off if you're a stock investor as well. Maybe something you parked your money in is going to just soar all of a sudden. Righty, tally ho. Mercury Saturn says long range financial success connected to debts, work, refinancing, property, and real estate. Again, 21st to the 23rd. And Mercury could also say the 21st to the 23rd, stable, lasting, enduring results connected to your career gains in a formidable kind of marathon way, and perks and rewards from working and job can be sustained longer or in more enduring ways than you think. The only thing I don't like is Saturn's fallen. So some of it may also require that you do some backroom deals and negotiations with your corporate or work or employer situation to get the best out of it. And yeah, and if you have employees, there could be a circumstance here with a difficult employee situation resolving itself around the 21st to the 23rd. Now let's go to the third week, the 21st to the end of the month, and talk about difficulties. We have Pluto squaring Mars. The world is going to rock and roll with war and terrorism and shit like that, but not you. Excuse my language, guys. That's what happens when I'm tired. I revert to my childhood where my mother swore, so I do. Although she used to say F a duck, okay? She was very tame. F a duck, F a duck. Oh my God. She was born in the 30s. All right. It's like, let's square this away. WTF, right? Mars is in the house of legal contracts. If you were selling your house, this is the buyer. The buyer is unfortunately in a rough shape in Taurus. They're trying to gin up the money, but they don't really have it. And they're taking forever to put together, enough for a down payment. And then all of a sudden there's a square when push comes to shove, right? Something's got to give. Disclosures, things that were hidden, contractual legal agreements, difficulties, having to fight for something, or someone's fighting you for something that they want to get connected to home, property, land, resources. Legal things can be involved with Mars here, lawsuits as well. But because Jupiter's in your ninth house, and because Jupiter is in dignity and Venus is with him, you will prevail and win in this stuff. Separation between you and a partner in a divorce settlement, you come out on top. But it's probably not that. Mars is just kind of like, he's ruled by Venus in the ninth house. So it's going to bring you legal results that are yours to win the day. But if you want to move your home, for example, Mars is like trying to push for a relocation. And yet you have to cope with Pluto, who needs some kind of transformation and catharsis and crisis. Your significant other is having a really difficult time, if you're married, with something connected to their career. And they're coming into a real crisis moment regarding career, power struggles, and ambition not meeting the success they're looking for. And that could even lead your significant other to want to terminate a career job path, to just quit during this time if you have a significant other. All right. If you want to sell a property with Mars here, because he'll be here forever, he'll be here until June 28th, May 19th to June 28th. I'm not sure I like this. I almost think it might be useful to wait until after June 28th when he gets into your 8th house and flows to the 4th, okay? This could also be difficult struggles and battles over matters of money and inheritance. And everything will start to clear a little bit better with Jupiter still supporting you. The best time for that clearing is like June the 28th to June the 30th. Okay. And all of a sudden there's like golden rainbows and unicorns of success where things have been thwarted and struggles have happened. And your significant other could have these same kinds of problems, right? And I talked about Sun trine Pluto. I already brought it up, but just to repeat it, this is positive on the money front connected to banking, loans, mortgages, property, real estate, inheritances, tax rebates, insurance payouts, home property and real estate, legacy wealth, family of origin money. Sun is also giving you career benefits financially connected to your home life. When do you feel that? May 23rd to May the 26th. On December the 27th and 9th, Venus squares Saturn. She already had some disillusionment when she squared Neptune on the 21st, 22nd. Now she's got a hard reality check about what she's trying to accomplish in legal court cases, international travel, childbirth and labor, if you're a female, and matters connected to a sibling too older, and a sort of a hard stop reality check as it connects to your work, your job, your pets, your rental agreements, and your tenancies. Trying to secure an international tenancy agreement. Failure, difficulty, realism sets in, trying to figure out how to hard stop something tangible in your work connected to human resources. And there's a terribly difficult reality check coming in here. Venus can translate this reality check to difficulties also with legal contracts and agreements connected to rental tenancies, international and court matters. But still, Jupiter, Venus want you to win. They're going to conjunct here in the month of June. It's going to be glorious for you. So I do want you to not get stuck here. Sometimes when Venus has like a Neptune Saturn sobriety check, so to speak, it's going to give you what you need, especially good for those of you in publishing industries. This sort of what seems like a delay or a setback turns out to be a gift in disguise. So trust the process. Venus and Jupiter have your back here, and they're flowing to you. They'll stop something from going forward on many fronts. When something gets halted in your work, in your debts, in your finances, in your publishing stories, whatever that is, whatever gets sort of waywardly halted or stuck is going to be for your benefit. And this is happening around the 27th to the 29th of the month, and it may connect to what was happening earlier on the 21st, 22nd of the month. Finally, a Sagittarius full moon at 9 degrees. It's going to be in Sag, which is what? It is your second house of money, earnings, resources, financial wellness, dietary habits and styles. You planted a new moon here, a new beginning on December 19th of 2025. Don't forget, it's usually financial matters here. And there's a fulfillment moon now, a closure, a ripening, a harvesting of something you planted. The moon at 9 degrees of Sagittarius on the last day of the month. We're not going to be able to get it there without, just trust me, it's right here. The moon will be right here at 9 degrees. Well, the moon is bending the nodes of fate, which makes it very intense, very destined. It's very once in a lifetime. The moon is particularly bending the south node, which opens up a surrender, release, and letting go of friendship circles, groups of belonging, long-range goals and dreams, and money and earnings from your career. You let it go, you release, you surrender, that's okay. But at the same time, the full moon will fulfill some financial mandate that Jupiter wants for you, which is luck. And money can come from ways that are extremely lucky, including winning money, including inheritances. So it's maybe okay to let go of the earning story. The fulfillment moon opens up a beautiful channel in the sky that could just simply say, let go, let God. Your money's going to work out. Let go, let God. There's something good trying to happen. Windfalls, pennies in heaven, good fortune. The nodal axis is offering alternatives. And Jupiter is in a luck house with Venus as well. All said and done, Jupiter will likely bring you very fortunate new for financial outlays, outcomes that aren't your traditional ways that you've received money, particularly career earnings as well. And that's what I've got for you. And I hope that wasn't too fast and you could have played me back at a slow speed and maybe stopped me and taken notes. Don't forget, if you were a part of my Patreon community, you would get this early access and ad free. And that's something that a lot of people do. They get off of YouTube so they don't have to listen to ads. I put out so much content every month that listening to ads is probably annoying, but it also helps me survive as a content creator. So thank you for that. If you want to come to Substack, you'll find that the Pluto Chronicles is literally where I do World Astrology Unplugged. Check it out. And do predictive and accurate astrology about the world. If you would like to check me out, that's a weekly newsletter, the Pluto Chronicles. If you want to check me out over at my members only community here, I do live streams to say hi, to have conversations with you. I do them with spontaneous pop-ups as well, and sometimes mini readings, but not that often because I'm very busy, but you do get some of that. And also you can connect with me in Patreon for like classes and Zoom calls and all of that too. I have different tiers, including my highest tier, which gives you free classes. Don't forget to check in the Divine Timing Masterclass, 5 modules in May. You can do a la carte, 1 or 2 weeks of the course, or you can grab all 5 and all the Q&As with me, etc. It's more than just a weekend workshop. It's like come to the Q&As and have delineations of student charts or understand what I'm trying to teach you better. And you have your questions asked by a real person. It's why I don't often like self-study courses, because you can't ask the teacher what the fuck. So come to my class. Scorpio, you're known for being of the crude nature when you need to be, Scorpios, with swearing. So if that upset you, I apologize. I'm hoping that I caught the wave of your essence, as I'm a little bit tired and my swearing self is coming out of the woodwork. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Take care. Well, astrology is the map. It is the terrain of time. And in our course, the Divine Timing Masterclass, we're going to be learning about 5 very powerful precision tools in astrology to time your best life. But here is the thing. This is a course that takes ancient timing tools and Time Lord tools, and yes, helps you navigate reality with greater ease and flow and even luck because you know how to work with it. But it is not the only part that astrology offers you. It's not only a prediction map of time. Once you start going down the astrology rabbit hole, you, like me, begin to wonder about fate and free will, like who's in charge here? Because you're going to see the arc of destiny, and you're going to notice if you use these timing tools, not only how to look forward, but how to look backwards. And one of the most surprising parts of this is that when we turn around and look backwards using astrology, we see pattern recognition and cycle repetition. So in my Divine Timing Masterclass, I've chosen 5 tools that I think I can teach intermediate to advanced beginner students. And I have taught this class before in 2022 and 2021, but not all of these tools. I taught 4 of these tools, I believe. So in our class, if you want to join me in the Divine Timing Masterclass for 5 consecutive weekends in the month of May on Saturdays, I'd love to have you there. There's a little checklist on my website that's going to ask you whether or not you think you're ready for this class, because you don't want to take this class if you've never before learned the meaning of the planets, the meanings of the houses, how to recognize the astrology glyphs. If you don't know the rudimentary language of astrology, this course will not be for you.
Lunatic astrology.